You you immediately notice that there is a flock of ravens there, and a swarm of rats chewing on this horse body.
Well, that's not good. One of the parts to a proper burial for an elven body is to keep it deep under the ground to prevent things like this from happening. I think that this is a demonstration of the truism of the theory.
Not really have time, but if you need help digging a hole, my people are quite known for that. I do have a shovel.
I can bury the bodies here if that is fine with you. It will take a little bit of time though, and we will need to shoo off the how you say predators.
Scavengers, I think, between
Do I know what the natural predators of scavengers like this would be?
Bigger predators.
Okay, that's fine. I would like to use minor illusion to make a loud animalistic noise that would be the result of one of their natural predators. That would scare them off.
For the rats or the birds?
Do both. Make it a bobcat.
What's that?
Make it a bobcat.
I'll make it a bobcat growl.
Okay.
A loud bobcat roar with my prestidigitate or with minor illusion.
All right. Make a deception check for me.
Sure. $19.
Okay. You see the birds fly off over to the woods here. And you see the rats scurry back into the woods this way.
Cool. I can continue that effect. Let's see. I can continue that effect for a full minute, so I can continuously, and I don't have to make the sound just continue the entire time. I can just make it like I can re-up the growl every few seconds for an entire minute.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Are we on the cart or are we walking?
That's totally up to you. I know that Oscar is driving the cart. What anybody else is doing is up to you guys.
I'm going to go over here. I'm going to bring the other body of...
Hold on. Move back.
Yeah.
I need you to walk the way. Move your movement for me.
That's my path.
Okay. All right. When Jacobi walks past the... Sorry. You get one more step, Jacobi. And then you see... My token there we go. Yay. You see these burst from the horse's stomach.
Oh. What? Oh, that's awful.
And roll for an ish.
Oh, right.
Cool. Man, I cannot wait till second level.
Yeah, same.
I'll start adding my intelligence bonus to my initiative.
Okay.
When I hit third, I can add my wisdom bonus to mine.
Nice. Yes.
Imagine being a martial class and having to wait till third level to get your stuff.
No thanks. I'll continue to be a mage and just do everything.
All right.
Okay, I have rage, and that's all I need.
Jacoby.
All right, I see these carrions just burst forth from the dead horse carcass.
Yeah, it's a swarm of them. And they look just like that. They look like little maggot things with sharp teeth. And they are headed your way.
Jacoby is going to take out both of his blades, and he's going to start stabbing at them.
Okay.
While also calling out to everybody else, yeah, these bodies have been dead for a while, it seems. So that's going to be an 18 to hit and a 24 to hit with the offhand.
18 hits.
For 12 damage altogether as I'm stabbing into these things as lightning quick as I can.
Yeah. You have to move up to get to them.
Ah, yes.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yes, that's my turn.
Piper.
I'm going to move here, and I'm going to attack with my quarterstaff.
Okay.
Both hands.
Two-handed?
Yep.
All right. So 3.
God, things are hard. We need to burn everything. Ah. I might need more alcohol after these.
Worry. And last night I said, brewing, it will not be necessarily the most delicious booze you have ever tasted, but it should have fermented enough by now for a little bit of moonshine.
Andor, it's your turn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I continue to allow the sound to happen. And I will move myself so that I have a nice view of these disgusting maggots, and will level a firebolt at them.
Go ahead.
$17 to hit, doing 4 fire damage.
They look pretty bad off. You've been... Between the three of you, you've managed to do quite a number on these things.
And yet they continue to be disgusting.
Yep.
Oh, they'll be disgusting well past when they're dead.
I mean, it depends on how far you burn them. Eventually, they just become ash. That's far less disgusting.
Yeah, true.
Why did it do that? That's... Okay, hold on a second. It lost its mind there for a minute.
It doesn't have a mind. It's a mindless creature.
Yeah, it's got Andor on here twice. Andor, are you on a 9?
No? He's a 14.
14. Okay.
The
That's
9
what I
is
thought.
the creature, I think. The
No,
maggots.
it's got multiples of each of you on here for some reason. I don't know why it did that.
That's strange.
Yeah. It tossed a double for everybody on there, so. Okay. My turn. They will lurch at Jacoby. and miss. Totally.
Awesome.
Good.
I'm just dancing around these things, making some maggot shish kebabs with my blades.
Oscar, your turn.
Oscar is going to sit down off the cart, give a gentle pat to Mr. Longface's mane, and say, "Do not worry, there is nice grass here that you can eat while we deal with this." And turn, pull out both of his hand axes, and rush forward to attack.
Okay. It'll take you half your movement to get down out of the cart.
Okay, in that case, I get to there and throw the axe.
Okay. Sounds good. That hits.
That is 6 points of slashing damage.
And they drop.
Yay! Kill them!
Ah, the rats have returned.
Yeah, it looks like they've gotten over the fear of the natural predators.
Yes, Yakobi, they burst out of the trees. This rat swarm bursts out of the trees and hits you for 7 piercing. As they just come flying, they just come swarming out.
Fair enough.
Could be unnatural.
Yakobi.
I will go ahead and yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a tireless quick.
Sure.
Boom. For 13 temporary hit points.
Now, is that an action?
That is an action.
Okay.
And then bonus action, Hunter's Mark on it.
Sure thing. I will add a mark to it.
We have not gotten a long or short rest, have we?
No, we have not.
Okay, just checking.
Let's see. What's a good mark for Hunter's Mark? Oh, yeah, the big target.
That works.
Piper.
That's my turn.
Piper.
An attack with my quarter staff again.
Okay.
Yay! Finally, better damage with two-handed.
Yeah, but only a 5 to hit, so.
I know, it's so sad.
Yes. So Piper, you run up and you're like, you're trying to hit them. You're trying to bash these rats, and they're just swarming around. And you're like, I missed them all. There's so many of them. But then you realize probably you missed them because it looks like a bacchanal, only a small, ugly, furry one. So.
Maybe if I step on them.
All right. Andal. It appears that the voices are no longer scaring these rats away, but you do notice that the flock of ravens have burst out of these trees over here and flown off into the distance.
All right. Noticing that his illusion is not quite as effective as he had hoped it would be, Andal is going to run at an angle so that he can get a good view of the rats while still trying to stay somewhat away from them, and shout out his command for fire as the firebolt shoots from his grasp towards the rats.
Okay.
Let's get that spell going. That is a 13 to hit the rats.
A 13 will actually hit the rats.
They will take 4 fire damage. Anybody in the mood for barbecue?
I believe these things probably carry a great many diseases with them. I would not recommend eating them.
If you can find more appetizing meat than rats, I am quite in the mood to eat, but I agree with Jacobi.
Oscar, this smells like Father Torridon's rat skewers, and you hated those things because he never put barbecue sauce on them. He always just roasted them, fur and all, and then wanted you to eat them, and you just couldn't stand it. Which is why,
Yeah, he was very into the whole aesthetic lifestyle. You accept what you get, and it's like a little bit of sauce on your rat is not too much to ask for.
yeah, skin it first, then cook it. There's just, it was all the little bits of fur that were burnt, and the smell was just horrible. So the smell of burnt rat to you is just like, oh, it's Thursday. Thursday in the mess hall. That's what we got going on here.
A good old fashioned PTSD moment.
Yeah. These guys are Desert Dornell. Oscar, it's your turn.
Just going to move up and take an attack at the rats with my. I guess I shift it into my main hand for. Yeah, so just a hand axe attack.
Yes. Go ahead. That'll hit him.
8 points of slashing damage.
Yep, you managed to swing your axe and cut about 3 or 4 of them into pieces. And they're scurrying around.
They are so gross.
And they will attack you because you were the one that hit them last. Does a 15 hit?
Yeah.
That would be 7 points of damage.
I am unconscious.
Oscar, you
That's
eventually.
It is so gross. This is so much worse than Thursday's and
At least Mother Torvald's rats didn't bite back.
Jacobi will dance a little bit on his feet and take a step around the swarm of rats as they focus more on his dwarven companion here, and he's going to go ahead and hit them again with some short sword attacks.
You do that.
I believe in 11 hits.
It sure does.
If a 10 hits, anyway.
Yep.
And then a 12 probably hits as well.
Just roll for damage for your first one. First for me, please. Okay. Yeah, you managed to kill
10
almost.
altogether.
You managed to kill almost all of them with the first attack. Then you go ahead and roll damage for your second one, and they die a horrible, painful death as you sweep them. So you finish sweeping the rats out of the way.
For 16 damage altogether.
Yeah.
Gotta love Hunter's Mark, man.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that first one with the 10 and the 2 was Hunter's Mark? Right? The first attack? Yeah. So your first swing kills them.
Okay.
Sorry,
No. The first one was rolled with the Hunter's Mark. It was 2d6 plus my dex, so 4 plus 2 plus 4.
Yeah, 7.
And then the next one was a 4 plus 2. I just didn't have.
Okay, yeah. Never mind then. Yes, your first attack cleaves through them, and your second attack you're just like, just finish them all off, and the 2 or 3 remaining just scurry off into the distance.
Just start twirling my short swords before putting them back into their sheaths.
And we are out of combat.
Are you okay, sir? Oscar.
I have decided that I hate rats so much more than I thought I did.
It's quite understandable. If you would like to wait on the cart and recover for a bit, I can take care of burying my people.
No, I promised that I would help. And it will go quick, I would too. There is nothing like digging a grave after you have had a near-death experience to appreciate that you are still alive.
I would like at the very least one or two of you to maintain an eye on our prisoners to ensure that they do not wake up and try to escape.
I'm not sure if we should have Piper on that duty, because if she is the one who is watching over them, they will definitely try to escape, if only to get away from her.
Likely, but
Send
at the
that
same
comment.
time, at the same time, I believe Piper is very capable of keeping them well subdued.
Thank you.
If for no other reason than the force feeding of alcohol and such.
She did do a remarkably good job of holding on to Karambal, so I agree. She will do a good job.
Everybody make a perception check, except for Andal, who's used to it.
Shite rules tonight.
Piper, you notice Bob just leaps from your head, lands next to the grubs. Andal, you see him. You know how he reacts. And you see him just snorting these things. He's squishing them and just snorting the goo right into his nose like he always does. And all four of you hear in your mouth, hear in your head, that's just tasty. It's got some gooey. The cream gel kind. And you see, as you hear this, then you guys notice that Bob is just down there snapping these rock grubs in half, squishing them, and snorting the juices up.
Mr. Randall, your companion is a disgusting little thing.
I rescind my earlier.
You're not wrong at all.
I rescind my earlier comment. I think that I have entirely lost my appetite now.
Bob, they're all disgusting.
I'm sorry, you want some? And he snaps one in half and walks up to you, Andal. He's like, spit, 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 and he's just kind of squirting it.
I look down at him. You know I don't eat that stuff. If you stop now, I promise we will get you apples when we get back.
I just had an apple. Grubs are good. Can I save some?
Yeah, grab 2 handfuls quick, right now.
He grabs 2 handfuls and he climbs up.
I snap him into the pocket dimension.
He's like, oh, cool. Bob's got some rock grubs. Which may or may not be a good thing.
I'll begin digging the graves then. I don't have a tool with this, so I'm probably going to be using my hands for the most part. So this is going to be a lengthy process.
Doesn't Austin have a shovel?
Yeah, it's not the best quality in the world. It's mostly sort of a flat sheet of flint that's had a wooden pole attached to it, but it will hopefully do the job.
So, who is digging? Are you taking turns digging?
I also have a shovel, so I will help.
How are you guys doing this?
Well, we can each be dedicated to a different grave to make the process go a little bit quicker. I'm using my hands, so because I don't have a shovel, but the other two can handle the shoveling, whereas Piper is back keeping an eye on our prisoners.
It is okay, my friend. You may borrow my shovel. My hands are used to digging around in the earth. I will probably finish the grave before you, even without a tool.
It is fine. Being able to dig my hands into the earth is a pleasure, truly. It is not something that bothers me at all.
I am surprised. I have been told that your people are a little finicky, very delicate.
It depends on who you meet. We have 2 different types that exist within the city. Those who are much more averse to getting their hands dirty in the literal sense, and those who are that revel in the process and experience. My mother actually taught me a survival technique. When you are in cold climates, digging a hole and burying yourself is actually better if you wish to rest for a while. And many times you will find yourself without tools to do so.
Okay, so
She taught you quite a bit about wilderness survival. I know that you have made it clear that you do not necessarily welcome visitors, but it would perhaps be nice to have the opportunity to meet her.
My mother is one of the most impressive people I have ever met in my life. To be fair, it is not many people, but I do believe it is fair to say that she would be impressive to most. My father, actually, is closer to the, how you say, stereotype that you mentioned. Very delicate, very much a scholar, does not deal with the bloodiness and the survival and the eating of bugs and such.
Interesting.
Just so that you know, Dwarven society is kind of almost the exact opposite, in that basically every dwarf you ever meet will resist the opportunity to get clean. It varies to how much they are dedicated to that. I have known people who have never taken a bath, and then people more on my side of the scale are comfortable taking a bath so long as there is a good opportunity to get dirty again afterward.
Or people revel in the dirt, similar to the woodland elves of mine, I suppose, then?
I'm not sure if it is entirely the same. We mostly live under the ground. I not until a couple of days ago had I even seen the sky.
So then I assume digging is actually a specialty of your people.
It is something that we take a good deal of pride in. And the only two cities before your people arrived on the scene were the two great halls of Dwarvenkind. They are massive and full of wonders. And I have honestly not seen all that much of it because I was mostly kept inside the monastery. But I am told that that is very, very pretty in the high-class districts. I have never been there.
Perhaps if the time comes and I am assigned a proper duty, I can visit these places. It might be nice to learn how other cities are constructed.
I think that that would be a lot of fun. Piper, just so that you are aware, if we ever do visit the city of Ironstone Hall, they do check that certain illicit substances are not being smuggled into the city. So we may have to discuss how you will hide them should the event come about.
What you're talking about, everything that I take is completely legal. We use it all the time in the bacchanals. Everybody knows how to use it. Perfectly normal.
Natural and legal in the bacchanals is not quite the same as it is in the material plane, Piper. I hate to say it, but the dwarves don't like partying.
They do not?
Well, they
Not really in the same sense. I am given to understand that satyrs party pretty much for the sake of partying in and of itself, whereas dwarves celebrate when there is a great victory, or if there is a coronation, or if there is something important. There is a good cause to come together with others of your clan and celebrate. Again, I've never really known this, as I do not have a clan as such. I am known as Hammerstone because that is the name of the monastery where I was raised.
Many
Confused.
people have a very all or nothing attitude when it comes to enjoying oneself. For the most part, we do not take part in any sort of revelry of the sort. It is something that we tend to ignore. Those who try to do so on a regular basis are seen as layabouts, lazy, people who do not contribute to the necessary survival of our people. But there is a week that is dedicated throughout the year, which is marked as a festival for all of us to participate in, to enjoy the fact that there is a massive city that we have constructed, and it holds many things with which we can enjoy.
Okay. You're right there because there's a lot of information that's coming in my mind. I don't get it. I don't get the difference between celebration and party. It's the same thing. And you, Jahobi, what do you mean it's only 1 week? Is this due to the fact that you guys are born with a stick on your ass?
I do not understand this expression of the stick up my ass.
Because that's what my friend Willow told me, that you didn't party because you have all a stick on your ass. Can I check your ass?
You cannot honestly expect me to believe,
Okay.
Piper, that at the back
Okay,
of
I'm
the
gonna put the shovel down a
sticks
second.
up that ass.
I'm going to put the shovel down a second. Jacoby, Piper, this expression of having a stick up your ass. Jacoby, what kind of a mood would you be in if I were to shove this shovel into your rear end?
A very cross one, I imagine.
Okay, now try to be revelous if that were the case.
I suppose the idea is if one has a stick up their arse, if I understand this correctly, is that they are non-humorous, very angry all of the time, very upset all of the time, uncomfortable, incapable of experiencing happiness and such, I suppose.
I think that's the idea, yes.
Well, I assure you, that is not my people. In fact, you would get along very well with the middle brother of my siblings. He is very much of your very similar mindset, Piper. He spends most of his days drinking and playing music and doing very little else other than enjoying himself.
You said that your mother was quite impressive. I'm assuming you think the opposite of this fellow.
Most people believe the opposite of him. I still believe that he provides a valid service to everyone. After all, his music is not bad at all. He is quite skilled. But he does not do so for the pleasures of others. He does so for the pleasures of himself. And many people do not look kindly on such selfishness.
Yeah, hobby, how can someone
people
please
don't
someone else?
I am sorry, what did you say, Piper?
How can someone please someone else if doesn't know what it please oneself?
I do not understand the question.
Yes, you say that he doesn't do it for other people, he does it for his own pleasure. He doesn't provide pleasure for other people. But the question is, how can he provide pleasure for other people if he doesn't have pleasure on himself?
You put it this way. Most of his time is spent playing only to himself in a home which is empty, where none can hear. He does not go out into the many different places that people work and serenade them with his song. He does not make anyone else's life better.
Maybe shy. He can be shy.
Trust me, if you met him, you would understand. Shy is not an adequate descriptor.
Maybe he is practicing.
Yes.
I mean, that is why we were cloistered in the monastery, is that we would spend time and supposedly get better. I will demonstrate. And Oscar gets up from where he's been digging the grave and starts going through what would be a kata if he'd actually dedicated himself and learned how to perform the martial arts. But because he didn't really pay attention and doesn't fully know the moves, it's more like improv jazzercise.
I do not believe he is merely practicing, as you say. I am also very uncertain as to what it is you are doing. But, how to put it? Many people in my society, my people, the elves, we have a week set aside where we celebrate, where we drink the wines that we have been collecting, where we utilize the musics that we have been learning, where we burn fires to celebrate the fact that we live yet another year. It is a week-long celebration, and it is a very tiring experience. And it is the time in which we set aside for such revelry. Beyond that, though, my people believe that it is important to spend most of our time shoring up defenses, collecting food, creating said wine, creating more buildings for a population that may grow over time, making sure that everyone follows the rules, making new rules to ensure that no one hurts each other unnecessarily. These sorts of things we focus on mostly throughout the year. My brother takes that week and extends it throughout all of his life, and has been doing so for, I want to say, at least 30 years now. He does not work. He does not hunt. He does not build. He does not even provide any new knowledge like our scholars do. He does not provide spiritual comfort to people. He does not play for the pleasure of others. He does nothing but enjoy himself, which, to a degree, I believe is fine. But to another, I believe there is much good he could be doing that he simply does not.
Maybe he doesn't believe in your society. I mean, I'm just listening to it and it sounds depressing. You get tired for partying? I mean, we also, we have great wine. We have to spend time making that great wine. We do stuff, but we also party. Oh, okay, maybe we do stuff because we want to party, because that's our excuse to do that stuff, but still we do stuff.
Our people in the mine differ, obviously.
I'm going to interrupt our conversation just slightly and shortly. We need to finish getting these bodies in the ground, and we have been traveling and fighting and searching and shoveling for quite some time, and it seems that it has begun to rain. I think I would like to get back to camp and get some rest.
If you say so. The rain will make the shoveling slightly easier to begin with, until everything begins to get a little too muddy. So it perhaps is a good idea to move things along.
Orga has told me about this rain. How long does it go on for?
It varies.
Oftentimes,
The longest you've ever had rainfall for?
The longest I've ever seen rainfall?
Yes.
Sometimes several days.
Oh.
Is your monastery underground, Oscar?
It is in Ironstone Hall, so it is very deep within the mountains.
Wow. Oh, and the rain is sideways now. Well, that's the worst type of rain ever. Yeah. Are these holes deep enough yet?
Yes.
must be at least 6 feet. So actually, if it is the size of your shovel, it should be fine.
Andor, yours is done. Oscar and Jacoby need about 2 more feet because they've been talking more than they've been digging.
Well, mine's done, so I'm going to hop inside of Oscar's and help him finish quickly, and then we're going to boot Jacoby out and use our shovels to finish the last one.
Jacoby seems to be right. Now that it's starting to get a little wet and muddy, it goes a little faster, but you are filthy. Oscar, you're happy. Andal, not so much.
Great. As soon as I get out of this hole, I will prestidigitate the mud off of my clothing.
Yes, the mud is gone, but the wetness isn't.
No, it's not, and I want to go home.
So you guys spend another, Jacoby. It takes you probably another hour and a half to get these bodies prepared properly and put in the ground, and then you guys spend about another half an hour kicking dirt back on, because it's much easier to put dirt back in a hole than it is to get it out of a hole, especially when it's muddy.
Jacoby will place the blades that he found with each of the people that he believes that they're from, whilst the graves are being filled back in by Andal and Oscar. He'll be essentially performing an extensive ritual that's mostly in Elven, though the details of which are fairly simple. The concept is just sort of asking for the blessing of the passing of these particular individuals, naming them off, and then also naming off their sort of lineage. Like, for instance, one of them might be named Kyrie, and Kyrie, please bless the passing of Kyrie, son of Daria and Kuria, and thusly going on and on for a decent while. And that's kind of like the basic way that he's been told that this works. Anyway.
I am going to cast prestidigitation upon my cloak while this is all happening to warm it, so that at least I am not cold and wet, even though I am wet. I will also consider the fact that, in spite of the ritual of it and understanding the religious significance to Jacoby, that burying two perfectly good metal swords in this day and age is a incredible waste of resources and also significant cultural loss. I would like to study them, but they are gone. I don't know his fellows, but I certainly mourn that loss.
Yes. So about another 2 hours, you guys get done. You're exhausted. It is. You guys have been working for the better part of 3 hours. It's starting to get dark. It's raining. There's lightning that you can tell, even without a survival check, you can tell that this is the precursor to the storm. It is coming this way, and it will get worse. What you doing?
Keep going. Storm is coming up.
Oscar is just going to ask Jacoby, do your people mark the graves, or would that be a bad idea because it might attract grave robbers?
It can attract grave robbers. There is nothing against it normally. In our regular city, we do have dedicated places to place bodies like this, but outside here, it probably would not be a good idea. It is not necessary.
Okay. And Oscar will just clap a sort of very muddy hand against your shoulder. So, you have done well. You have kept the promise you made to them. They will rest easy now, I am sure.
My thanks, Oscar. You are a good companion.
Yeah. Thank you. I will get back on the cart. If we can make it back to the bonfire before the storm comes, we can warn people to get inside their tents.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.